One of the challenges of wrapping your gifts at Christmas is coping with all the unusual shapes and sizes. Sometimes you can get away with putting such gifts into a box, but bottles and plants can pose much more of a challenge. I've got some great ideas for coping with these, as well as some fabulous designs for more unusual ways with gift bags and boxes. When you've put a lot of thought into getting a special present for someone, it's well worth spending a bit of time making sure that the gift wrap you use looks really great. One way of doing this is to make the wrapping paper and gift tag yourself. And I've got all the practical tips that you'll need, plus clear instructions on how to tie the perfect bow in the basic skills section. So, happy wrapping! I've put together 3 great ideas for making gift wrap, whether you want to make it in quantity or for really special one-off gifts. Using a rubber stamp is a quick way of producing a lot of gift wrap. This snowflake design is an example. The lovely glitter dots are fun to do for a really special gift, and this and the crown stencil will give your gift a really unique finish. For the crown present, I've already wrapped the box in blue wrapping paper, and I've made a crown stencil using the crown template. So I want to place the stencil at the top corner of the box because I want to put 4 crowns on the top of the box and then 2 crowns at either end. So taking some masking tape just to keep the stencil in position while I'm working, I'm going to lightly dab a tiny amount of stencil paint onto a brush. That should be enough. And then keeping the brush perpendicular, we just want to gently stencil the crown. It's a lot better to have less paint on this brush than more, because you don't want to have the edges of the paint seeping out under your stencil. There we go. And then peel the masking tape off carefully and the stencil. And there we have our first crown. I'm now going to continue on and do the others. And there we have the last crown. So I'm just going to delicately peel back the masking tape. And you can see the finished present. And now I'm ready to move on to making the gift tag. To make the crown gift tag, you need to take a piece of card approximately 7 centimetres by 10 centimetres, and on that you need to stencil a crown like so. And then taking a ruler and a bone folder like this one, we want to score a fold line through the centre of the card, but we don't want to score through the crown. So if you can follow me here, I'm just scoring the 2 edges like so. And once we have our fold line in place, I'm then going to take a craft knife and I'm going to cut out the spikes on the crown. This can take some time, so I have done one earlier. And your finished piece should look like this. And then we just fold the tag down for the full effect. To attach the tag to the gift, I'm going to put a hole about there on the crown. So taking the single hole punch and bending this back over, I'm going to line it up There we go. And I've got some really nice silver thread here, which I'm going to use to attach the gift tag to the present. And here we have the finished present. Well, not quite finished. As you can see, the gift tag really sets it off. This snowflake wrap is really effective, and I'm going to show you just how simple it is to create. Before I start to stamp, I'm going to do some test stamps on a spare piece of paper, just to make sure that I've got the right pressure for the stamp. So placing the stamp on the paper, press down in the centre. And once you're happy with the way you're stamping, move on to the large sheet and just stamp random snowflakes all over the sheet. As you can see, it really is that simple. And to make the gift tag, I've stamped a piece of white card with the stamp, and then I've taken a rectangle of red card, and all you need to do is glue the two together like so, pop a hole using the hole punch, and then attach it to your gift with a nice red ribbon. And your completed gift should look like this. For the glitter dot wrapping, I've chosen some really nice red pearlized paper. And now you might wonder why I'm unwrapping the present. And I shall show you now. Having wrapped the present lightly, I've made some creases on my wrapping paper, so I now know the important areas I need to work on, the top and the sides of the box. So I'm going to apply my glitter dots to these 3 panels here. And to apply the glitter dots, I'm using the lid of a jar as a template, and I'm using a thin felt tip pen. Ideally you should use a pencil, but for the camera I'm going to use this. And you just want to make little dots all the way around your template, approximately 1 centimetre apart, like so. And I quite like the dots to spill down onto the side of the box, so I'm going to make some more dots here over the side. And then once this is done, I can start to put the glitter on. So you need to continue placing the dots along the panels, and once that is finished, we can start to apply the glitter. As you can see, I finished marking out the dots, and I'm now ready to use my glitter glue to put the design onto my paper. Now, don't worry when you dot the glue onto the paper if it comes out white, because you'll find when it dries, it is actually gold. So just little dots like this, quite quick and simple. And you want to continue like that over the whole sheet and over all the designs that you've drawn. As you can see, I've now finished doing all the glitter dots, and I'm going to leave this sheet aside to dry for some time, and once it's dry, it's going to be ready to wrap my present. Now that the glitter glue has dried, I've wrapped the present with some nice gold ribbon, and I finished it off with a very elegant gift tag. And you can also see that the decoration has fallen exactly where I wanted it to. Now, to make the gift tag, I've used the same technique as I used on the present, and I've taken a piece of the paper and recreated the glitter dots on that. And then I've cut them out into a circle, and then using a piece of gold card, I've cut a larger circle out, and then using paper glue, glued the 2 circles together like this. And then with a hole punch, just made a hole in the top and attached it to the front of the gift. And as you can see, it's very luxurious. If you've only got the time to create one special handmade item this Christmas for your gift wrapping, this little stamped panel looks very impressive on gift tags, on presents, on cards. It's as quick to make a lot of these as it is to stamp just one. And as you can see, you can make them in different colourways. And also, if you can't find the holly stamp that we've used, you can use another Christmas motif, such as a Christmas tree or a snowflake. For the panel, I've used some nice emerald green polymer clay, and I've rolled this out to approximately 3 millimetres in depth. Now, taking my rubber stamp, I'm going to press it quite firmly into the clay to get a nice impression, like so. And then I'm going to trim around the edges with a sharp knife. There we go. And as you can see, the first panel is now ready to put into the oven to bake. And it's quite easy to make lots and lots of panels like this and then bake them all together. And you put them into an ordinary oven and bake them at the temperature that the manufacturer of the clay recommends. Once your clay has hardened, you're now ready to start painting. And I'm going to paint the berries using a red acrylic paint. We just need a very small amount and a very fine paintbrush. So pop the red like so. Now that's going to take a while for those berries to dry, so I'm going to take out one that I've done earlier. And this one is ready for me to put on the silver gilt. You only need a very, very tiny amount of the silver gilding wax and just pop it onto the corner of a kitchen towel like this. That should be plenty. And we want to wipe the gilt over the holly like this. And as you can see, it's beginning to bring out the holly shape really nicely. There we go. And now the panel is ready to put onto the card. To make the gift card, I've taken some silver card and I've folded it in half, and I'm now going to take a hole punch and make a hole in the top corner, like so. And then, to stick the panel onto the card, I'm going to use some double-sided sticky tape. So we just pop that onto the back like this. So just peel the backing tape off like that. And then I'm going to fix the panel onto the card, like so. The card is ready now for the finishing touch, which is a nice green satin ribbon, which I'll thread through. And there we are, all ready to attach to your gifts. Although wrapping bottles has become much easier since bottle bags became widely available, they don't really do justice to a special bottle of wine or champagne. Create more of an impact with this confection of cellophane and net dressed with a cascade of ribbon. To start, I've cut 4 1-metre lengths of gift ribbon, and I've then tied them together in a knot like this. This will become apparent later why I've done this. And then I've cut a 70 centimetre square sheet of net and then 2 lengths of cellophane, 70 centimetres long as well. The cellophane I've used is the clear cellophane, but you could also use the red or the gold or any of the other colours that are available. Now, taking one of the sheets of cellophane, I'm going to lay that in a cross over the net like so. And then taking the bottle of champagne, which I'm going to wrap, pop that into the centre. Then gathering up the cellophane and net together, like this, you have a wrapped bottle. To secure this, I'm going to take the gift ribbon I cut earlier, and you see now why the knot is useful. With only one hand it's quite difficult to tie. So I'm going to put a bow so tie that in a double knot to keep it secure. To finish the gift, I'm now going to curl about 4 of the ribbons. And to do this, I want to take a pair of scissors, and using the back of the scissors, and on the matte side of the gift ribbon, you want to position the ribbon between the thumb and the top of the scissors, and just drag down like this. And as you can see, you get a nice tight curl. So I'll do that with about 4 of these ribbons, like so. And the final one. And there we have it. Just before you're ready to hand over your gift, fluff out the top of the bottle like this. There we go. Both adults and children alike look forward to sweet treats at Christmas. This decorative cone is perfect for jelly beans, candy-coated chocolates and all types of foil-wrapped sweets. And it's much more exciting than opening a shop-bought box. To start with, I'm going to make the gift tag. Now, I've cut a star using the star template out of some red card. And if you want to write a greeting or a name on the star, it's a good idea to do this now before you wrap the present. So, having done that, you'll need to punch a hole into one of the arms of the star, like so, because I'm going to use this lovely holographic ribbon to secure it to the cone. I've already cut 2 1 metre in length pieces, and I've tied them together with a knot in the centre, like so, and I'm going to thread the star onto the ribbon. There we go. And then put that aside and move on to making the cone. To make the cone, I've chosen some really nice green pearlised paper, and on that I've drawn a semicircle. Using a pair of compass, I want the circle to be about 25 centimetres in diameter, so I've set the compass to 12.5 centimetres. And then just drawing the semicircle on your piece of paper, you'll then need to cut it out like so. To make the cone, you just take the long straight edge and fold it over like so. Put it nice and secure, try not to leave too big a hole at the bottom, don't want the sweets to fall out. And then secure it down with a piece of clear tape. Now I'm going to pop some shredded tissue paper into the bottom of the cone to rest the sweets on. And now it's ready to fill with sweets and wrap. For the wrap, I've chosen some nice clear cellophane, and I've cut 2 squares out of the cellophane, about 50 centimetres long, and I'm going to take one of the sheets and just lay it diagonally, like so. There we go. And then taking the cone, I've chosen some really nicely bright coloured sweets. I'm going to fill the cone with sweets. And it's worth actually filling the cone to the top just to make sure that the cone is actually secure around the edge when you're wrapping. There we go, that should be plenty. So, putting the point of the cone into the centre of the cellophane like so, I'm then going to start to wrap the cellophane around the cone. Now it's worth taking some time to do this, just to make sure that the gathers are right. Once it's wrapped, I'm ready to put the holographic ribbon around the top. So, keeping a tight hold of it, you don't want the gathers to fall apart. I'm just going to tie a double knot. A nice finishing touch is to curl the gift ribbon. And to do this, you need to take a pair of scissors, and using the back of the scissors, you want to take the matte surface of the gift ribbon and then just sandwich the ribbon between your thumb and the scissors and pull quite quickly, like this, and you get a nice tight curl. And if you want to get an even tighter curl, you just repeat the technique on the same piece of ribbon, and remember, of course, to use the matte side of the ribbon. So there we go. And you continue doing this to all four ribbons. And also you want to fluff the top out, and you should end up with a fabulous gift cone just like this. Although it's easy to wrap a CD as it is, it's not really very inspiring. So here's a great way to add that special touch to this gift so that it doesn't get lost under a pile of presents under the tree. It's so easy to make, you can make lots of these wallets in different colourways to give to your friends and family. To make the CD wallet, I've taken a sheet of blue translucent paper, approximately 34 centimetres by 22 centimetres, and I folded it in half. Now, I've then marked on the sheet 3 holes on each side of the sheet, and then I've pierced them with the brad awl like so. You want to have the holes approximately 1.5 centimetres from the inside of the sheet. And having done that, I found some really nice little brads in a craft shop, and I'm going to use these to secure the wallet. So you just pop the brad through the hole like so, and then splay the prong, and that should secure the wallet, and then continue through until you've finished all 6. Once that's done, I'm ready to punch a hole in the top of the wallet in the middle, like so. And then I want to put a tree that I've cut from a template in gold paper onto the centre of the wallet. So taking my glue sheet and my glue stick, I'm going to put some paper glue onto the tree, like so, and then place the tree into the centre of the wallet like so. Smooth it down there. I'm now ready to put the wrapped CD into the wallet. There we go. And to finish it off, I found some nice shiny gold ribbon, and I'm just going to thread that through the hole we punched earlier, and then tie it in a knot. And we want to trim the edges of the ribbon, so in a diagonal, like so. And there we have it, the finished CD wallet. This is a fun wrapping idea using recycled snack food containers. It's perfect for those awkward shapes and also to add excitement to the more mundane presents such as socks. You can use it for jewellery, cosmetics, chocolates, anything you like. Also, feel free to vary the colours, something like pink and silver perhaps, with a silver star on the top would be really fun. To start, I've taken the snack food container and I've painted it white to cover the print. And once that's dried, I'm then going to paint it with red acrylic paint so it's nice and shiny. And then popping the lid back onto the container, I'm ready to mark the holes in the container where the paper fasteners are going to go. So the first hole will be there, and then following across, got 4 holes in all, approximately 1 centimetre down from the top. So it's the first, and then the next one, and then the next one. I find it easy to do it like north, south, east, west in a cross, and then on the bottom end, about 0.5 centimetre up, and in between the 2 holes at the top, we want another hole. And then again on the other side, and at this side, and at this side. I'm now ready to make the holes in the container. So taking a bradawl, you just need to pierce the holes that you've marked, like this. And then continue till you've made all 8 holes. Once all the holes are complete, we're ready to put the paper fasteners in. Now you'll notice here that the holes are all opposing each other like this. And this is so when we wrap the rope around we get that nice pattern. So taking a paper fastener, you just want to insert it through a hole. Leave about 3 millimetres or so between the paper fastener and the container, and then just splay the prongs out at the back, like so. And I've made one of these earlier, so you can see all the paper fasteners are in place. And then taking a length of gold cord, and leave quite a long bit there because you're going to tie either a knot or a bow, whichever you prefer. Start to wrap it around the paper fasteners, and you'll see now why it needs to be 3 millimetres. So the cord will fit in. Now it's quite a quick little job to do, really. There we go. The last one. And you just need to tie it off in a knot, like so. And then just trim the edges so that it looks tidy. And as you can see, our drum is starting to take shape. To decorate the lid, I've cut out a star in gold paper using the template, and I'm just going to glue that onto the lid using glue stick. Make sure to get enough glue on the arms of the star as well. Like so. Smooth that down. And then taking the drum, I'm going to stuff it with some shredded tissue paper because the lid is see-through, so if you don't have something in there, they'll be able to see straight away what it is. And then we just pop the lid on top, and we have a lovely drum. Gift bags are usually very expensive to buy, so here's how to make your own. Choose a stunning paper like this hand-blocked Indian paper, and then accessorise with some matching ribbon and Christmas stars. You could also use miniature plastic baubles to decorate the top. Firstly, I'm going to strengthen the top of the bag. So taking a glue stick, I'm going to put some glue along the top edge of the paper, like so. There we go. And then I'm going to turn over about 3 centimetres. And I'll just press that down. like so. And for the edge of the bag, in order to seal it, I'm going to use some double-sided sticky tape. So I'm going to place that along the side, like this, and then trim off the edge. Now I'm using quite a large book as a form to make this particular bag. So placing the book in the centre of the paper that I've cut it to the circumference of the book, plus an extra 3 centimetres on either side. And I'm ready to now make the bag around the book. But remember to leave a little bit of space on either side, because we're not actually wrapping this book, we're just using it as a form to give us shape. So I'll take the covering off the tape, and then remembering to keep it loose, we just want to seal the bag carefully, like so. To make the base of the bag, and using the book as a form still, I'm going to just press in the corners like so, and press that down. Exactly the same as wrapping a box or a present. And then taking some double-sided sticky tape, I'm just going to place that at the bottom, and peeling the tape off, press like so. As you can see, that's the bottom of the bag. Now, I can take the form out. The bag is starting to take shape. We'll just take the 2 corners and pinch them together like so. And then do the same on the other side. And I'm ready to decorate the bag. Using a 2-hole punch, we want to pop the top of the bag into the hole punch and make sure it's centred, and then press firmly down. Now I'm ready to pop the present in. So you can nestle the present in some shredded tissue paper, pop it into the bag like so, and taking some gift ribbon, you want to thread the ribbon through the holes to seal the bag. There we go. And it's at this point that you can thread on any of the baubles or little stars, as I've chosen here. Just pop them on like so. There we go. And then tie your ribbon in a double knot to keep it secure. And also to stop prying eyes looking at what the present is. And to finish off, I'm going to curl the ribbon. So taking the matte side again and sandwiching it between the scissors and my thumb, just going to pull, and we get a nice little ringlet curl. And there we have the finished bag. Plants are notoriously difficult to wrap. Usually they remain in the plastic sleeve they came in from the shop. If you want to make a plant a bit more of a surprise, then this simple plant pyramid will do the trick. Save the wrapping till the night before to keep your plant in tip-top condition. To make the plant pyramid, I've cut a 15cm square out of some red card, and I'm going to need to cut 4 rectangles. So taking another piece of red card, 15cm by 32cm high, I'm going to mark out a triangle. So marking the centre of the top of the rectangle, and then drawing a line from the corner to the centre and the corner to the centre back again. That'll give you the template for the triangle. You'll need 4 of those, which I've cut out earlier. And then on these triangles, I'm going to mark a point 3 centimetres down from the top, which I'll then punch a hole through. So I've done that one, and I'll just punch some holes using a single hole punch like this. And you should be able to see the pencil mark through the hole punch, just so you know you're getting it in exactly the right spot. Like so. And the next two. There we go. To affix the sides of the pyramid onto the base, I'm just going to use ordinary sticky tape. So taking the first triangle, we just pop it onto the top of the square base like so. And then taking some sticky tape, we just fix it down like that. And then taking a craft knife, you want to just trim the edges so we don't have any surplus sticky tape. There we go. Now you need to repeat this process with the other 3 sides of the pyramid. Once you've done that, you should have a 4-sided star like this. And now I'm ready to wrap the plant. So taking a plant with a saucer at the base so that no moisture gets onto the actual wrapping, I want to take a piece of gift ribbon that I cut a little earlier, and then threading it through the first hole at the top, I'm going to continue along till I've brought up all 4 sides of the pyramid. Like so. And then just tying a loose knot to keep it in place. I'm going to take a waterfall bow that I made earlier using some silver ribbon and some nice pearlised gift ribbon, and I've curled a few of them and left a few of them straight. So I'm now going to attach this to the gift, and this will be the final touch. And there we go. Beautifully decorated Christmas gift. If you have a simple box to wrap, but you're at a loss as to how to make it look really special, this is the one for you. Choose ribbons and sequins in themed colours to go with your wrapping paper. For example, on these 2 presents, I've used some pearlised paper and then some ribbons, some gemstones and some sequins. Spend a little bit of extra time on your gift tag and you'll find that the reception you get when you hand this present over is well worth the effort. So taking my wrapped present, I've chosen a really nice purple satin ribbon that contrasts beautifully with the pearlised paper, and I'm going to stick this onto the present. So first of all, I'm going to stick one end of the ribbon using ordinary clear tape, like so, and then wrapping the rest of the ribbon neatly around the box, like this. I'm going to fix it with some double-sided sticky tape. There we go. So now that's sealed, I'm ready to use the sequin trim, and for this one I've chosen a nice silver which I think contrasts well with the purple and the pink, and I'm going to fix these onto the present using glue dots. So first glue dot on the end of the sequin, and I'm running the sequins along the top of the ribbon, like so. And then I'm going to use a glue dot to secure the end of the sequins in place. There we go. And now I'm ready to add the gemstones. And I'm going to again use a glue dot to secure the gemstones onto the ribbon. Like so. Then we have some more here. And there we have a finished present. For the gift tag, I've used a rectangle of silver card and I've just folded it in half like so. And I'm going to trim it using the purple ribbon that we used on the present. So having stuck some double-sided sticky tape onto the back of the ribbon, I'm just going to peel that off like so. And I'm going to place the ribbon about half a centimetre in from the edge. And then using a pair of scissors, you just want to trim along the edge of the card so that your ribbon has a nice even finish. To decorate the card, I've used a sequin string and a gemstone, sort of to mirror what I've done on the present, and also to affix it to the present. I've put some double-sided sticky tape on the back, and all you need to do is peel that off and then stick the gift tag onto the present. One of the reasons that presents can be badly wrapped is that you've used too much paper. So the trick is to get the right amount of paper. And to do this, you take the item you want to wrap and then bring the paper together, and you should have approximately a 4 centimetre overlap. That's all you'll need. And then for the length of the paper, if you take one end of the box, like so, and then roll it forward, and again, 4 centimetres at the end is all you'll need. Placing the box into the centre of the paper, like this, I've put some double-sided sticky tape along the side, approximately the same length as the box. And I just need to peel the backing off the tape. There we go. And then bringing the other side up. It's a good idea to get the paper to try and fit as snugly as possible. That way you'll get much neater ends. So that's nice and snug. We'll bring this over and then just smooth your fingers down with the double-sided tape. And there we have a lovely neat seam. And then I'm ready to turn the ends in. So pressing down the end like so, and then turning the box onto its side. I'm going to use my nails just to draw a nice sharp fold line, like so. And then taking some double-sided sticky tape, which I've cut off earlier because it's quite fiddly to try and do that at the same time, I'm just going to place some onto the edge, about there, and then turning the box around and repeating the process with the other fold. So I'll use my nail. There we go. And some more double-sided sticky tape. And I'm now ready to stick these down. So just peel the backing tape off. Of course, if it wants to come off, there we go. And then press it securely onto the side, like so. Now, a good trick is once you've got one side pressed down, follow the fold down and put the bottom fold in place again. You can just use your nails for this. There we go. Then again, with the other side, we need to fold that over and glue it down firmly. And then follow the crease down. You can make some very interesting noises when you're doing this. And crease it with my nail. I'm going to use double-sided sticky tape to fix this last piece on. So putting one piece as close to the edge as I can get it there, and then the next piece just underneath that. I want to peel the backing off, and then the box is ready to secure like that. And as you can see, you get a really nice finish on that, and then all you need to do is repeat the technique on the other side of the box. And there we have a perfectly wrapped present. And as you can see, there's not a bit of sticky tape inside. A beautifully tied bow will enhance any gift, but sometimes it's handy to have a separate bow that you can attach to a gift or a card with a glue dot, and I'm going to show you how to make one of these. To make the bow, you need to take your ribbon and then make a loop and clasp it between your thumb and forefinger, and then taking the piece of ribbon that's on the top nearest your thumb, you want to wrap that around like so, and then making another loop, you just need to thread that through the loop that's over your thumb, and then pull it all tight like this. And don't worry if it looks a bit uneven, because it's quite easy to adjust the length of the tail and the length of the loops by just pulling and tightening. There we go. So make that a little bit smaller. And that's the finished bow. And you can add another finishing touch to your bow by trimming off the edges in a diagonal in the same way that I've done here. Stenciling is a very simple skill to learn. And for stenciling, you don't actually need that much specialist equipment. Really, all you need is a stencil brush and some stencil board, which is a special card with an oil covering, which means that you can use the stencil over and over again. You can use ordinary card, but you'll find that after a while it will go soggy. Now, I've cut a star to use as a stencil, and I'm going to demonstrate how to apply the paint effectively. So the first thing you need to do is to tape down your stencil using some masking tape. So you don't want it to move while you're putting the paint on. There we go. You don't need to use expensive stencil paint. Ordinary acrylic paint or household emulsion will work just as well. And I'm going to take some of this nice red acrylic and pour it into an artist's palette, but you can also just use a saucer. Just a little piece is all we need. And then taking the stencil brush, I'm going to dip it very lightly into the paint, because you really don't want that much paint on your brush. If you think you have too much paint, just use a piece of kitchen towel and wipe off the excess. That should be fine. And then place the brush upright and make circular movements like this. And make sure that you get the outside edges of your stencil so you get a clean star shape. Here we go, I think that's enough paint. And then peeling back your masking tape carefully so that the stencil doesn't slip, because that will smudge the work you've done. You want to lift it off, like so. We should have a perfect stencil star, like this one. And again, you can use your stencil over and over again. A good piece of advice, though, is before you actually start stenciling any of your main projects, practice on some sheets of plain paper, just to make sure that you've mastered the technique. If you're new to rubber stamping, or you've only done it once or twice before, here are some useful tips and tricks to help you get started. The first is with your stamp pad, only open it when you're about to stamp. If you leave it open, it'll start to dry out and your stamps won't look very good. Now, the other thing to remember is to try and ink your stamp evenly. A good idea is to test your stamping on a couple of sheets of paper just to see how you are with the stamp and if you're applying enough pressure. As you can see, these two stamps haven't worked out very well, probably because I haven't put enough ink on the stamp itself. So I'm going to press it down a little more firmly and make sure that the whole stamp is evenly inked. And rather than slapping it onto the paper quite quickly, I'm going to gently place it onto the paper, and then I'm going to apply even pressure all around the stamp. So I'm not going to rock it backwards and forwards because that will also smudge the stamp. And then take it away, and as you can see, it's a considerably better stamp. A few more practice runs with the ink and hopefully I'll have got the hang of it and I'll be able to move on to stamping my greeting cards. There we go. Now, another useful tip is to have a packet of baby wipes or a wet sponge nearby. That means that when you're finished with your stamp, you can clean it off quite easily. And also, if you get any ink on your hands, you can use the baby wipe to wipe that off as well, so you don't want any stray ink getting onto any of your cards.